Hello to our replay gang. Last time we had somebody join us from Saudi Arabia. We had somebody join us from Hong Kong. So make sure you let me know inside Pagati, the comment section, that we are good and you can hear me loud and clear. Leon is first to comment and says, "Good evening, here for the updates." And poo, 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 poo. Where is my bell? Where is my cowbell? I need to. There we go. That one is shout out to Patricia. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. But anyway, it's her birthday all month long. Okay. Happy birthday to Patricia Morgan Mashale. And she got a very, very special gift from the state over there in the Bloom Court. You know what they say? I know there's a saying that says a friend of my enemy is a friend of mine. I'm not saying anyone is an enemy, but then there's also the saying that says, what's the saying? The latest one. I always want to get it right. There can never be peace between a policeman. Nope, I messed it up again. Oh, rewind. There can never be peace between a criminal and a police officer. The famous or infamous words of Lieutenant General, the police commissioner, well, the provincial police commissioner over there in the tiny little corner of KZN, Sham Konazi. Come on now. Go ahead and drop birthday emojis, celebration emojis in the comment section down below because I think this is a lovely surprise for Patricia. Remember, we waited. Yes, I'm including myself in the we. We waited and waited and waited and waited for the judgment to come out. If you guys remember Patricia Mashale, we didn't know. Let me tell you something about Patricia Mashale. She doesn't like have a secret circle, well, at least that I'm part of, where she says, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to court again with that whole Shadrach Sibia situation. Do you know, can you please have some prayers out for me? Well, I'm sure she does that with her family and close friends and family, right? But I'm just saying that in the public domain, the domain where she involves us, members of the public jury, she doesn't say, hey, everybody, guess what? Tomorrow I'm headed off to court. Make sure you come and see me over there inside Pagati within, right? She doesn't do that public announcement. And neither when she comes back, she doesn't come back and say, yeah, I was in court today, guys. I can't say much about it. I just wanted to let you guys know I was in court. She's like that influencer who doesn't really want to tell us what's going on in her life. And then we have to find out from the media. Shout out to the media, okay? And this time, did anybody else notice how the media changed their tune? Oh my goodness. How the mighty fall. And no, I don't mean Shadrach Sibia. The media all of a sudden, so if you remember the first court case that we saw a tiny little clip, okay, there's not a full life scenario. I just want to remind you that Shadrach Sibia is a SAPS employee, right? And if he opens a case in his capacity as a lieutenant general, all his legal costs, okay, all he can open 465 dockets in a year, take them all to court. He is not paying out of pocket. He's paid. Well, those legal representatives are paid by SAPS. I don't know if it's coming out of the slush fund. We'll wait for Paul O'Sullivan to tell us about that because he follows that fund really, really closely. He doesn't even have receipts. But we are not there. So here's the situation. The senior counsel was jumping up and down like his shoes were pinching him, and he was calling Patricia Mashale a self-styled whistleblower. She just focuses on the public interest part of the law, and then she jumps up and down and she posts on her Twitter and her Facebook and all her social media accounts untrue facts, and she doesn't verify truths. And Patricia said, bet? You don't want to bet with me? And they thought intimidation is the name of the game. And then shout out to the judge. We don't know who the judge is, okay? But thanks to Njabs, okay? He said pa on the screen. Because some of us, we can only hear when we read. Okay, so Funda Tembi Funda, we got to see the judgment. It's a whole, I want to think, 24 pages? Something like that. Let me check. It's huge. So thank you to Jabs of Gaza Nation for that sneak peek. Mzansi Unfiltered highly appreciates it. I'm just trying to see. It's like it's a 21-page document. So something like that for me, my brain is like, we need to read, okay? We need to read to understand. Otherwise, it's just lost in translation. And something like that, a judgment? Have you seen how Baloy and my lord jump up and down when the defense misquote a judgment? A case law? You just gotta read that thing verbatim, if you know what I mean. So, a shout out to Patricia, to Njabs, to Warrant Officer Makubo. So, Patricia just posted a video which is dedicated to Warrant Officer Makubo. Imagine winning a whole court case with your name on it and no warrant officer as an applicant, Warrant Officer Makubo. And wait a minute, you guys know who Warrant Officer Makubo is and why this is a big deal. Where is Advocate Maloy as he sees the fall? Okay. Anyway, let's focus. Let's regroup. So here's the thing. Good evening and Nosipio. Thank you for joining us live. Hi, Gaja. I see you. So here's the thing. When that senior counsel advocate for Shadrach Sevilla and his team were inside the court, they were very, very passionate. They called Patricia Mashale a self-styled whistleblower. We members of the public jury demand that he retract his statement and issue an interview urgently and correct those words, especially after this judgment has been put through. My prediction, they're definitely going to appeal it, okay? But I believe Shadrach Sevilla, I'm sorry, all protocol observed, Lieutenant General, Deputy Commissioner, suspended Deputy Commissioner Shadrach Sevilla, sitting in his tiny little corner at home, he misunderstood the assignment. He misunderstood the assignment when Masamola said he must go home and wait to be called in. Now, imagine having this judgment in front of the what do you call this? The Commission of Inquiry, and then you stack it with whatever else Lieutenant General Hlanhlam Kwanaze has to say about you. Let me tell you something. It is not looking good. And I've been saying this from the very first day he did that interview with Griselda Lewis when she said, "Are you a criminal?" And he said, "Patricia." No, he didn't say Patricia. He said, "Griselda, I'm a disciplined SAPS member and I've been with SAPS for 37 years. To date, we still don't know the answer to if he's a criminal because he didn't answer the question. He decided to tell us about his career history. But we are not there today. We are here inside this case. And yes, some good. So the thing is, it's actually a landmark decision because there's a lot that we have to break down, which is why I wanted to call this urgent family meeting. So let me go ahead and read this first part. It is paragraph 38 of the judgment. The judgment is titled Sevilla versus Patricia Mashale. So you see, the order of your name matters. So if you're first, it means you are the applicant and Patricia is the respondent. If you play any sports, it's always more difficult to be the one in the defense role. But look at Patricia, shining bright like a diamond days after her birthday. So let's go ahead and read paragraph 36. Let's start with paragraph 36. And it says, let me just position my mic well. Shout out to Barbara, a channel member. She's inside Pagati Within. Thank you for joining. Here we go. I want to be able to read, monitor the screen, and make sure the sound quality is good. I haven't recovered from the embarrassment of my live a couple of months ago where the sound was awful. Okay, and an undisciplined member of the comment section came and said I sounded like I was in the bathroom instead of telling me the sound quality is awful. Can you adjust the mic? Anyway, so paragraph 36, I accept. By the way, that person has never come back to the comment section ever again. Oh well, no love lost. Paragraph 36 of the judgment says, I accept that people serving the public, such as the applicant, should accept that they may be fiercely criticized by others from time to time. Is this the reason why a certain brigadier goes around in an inspection in loco disguised as Robocop, Zege Zege? I don't even know all the other names. Insert them here in the comment section down below. it's that criticism. He can't take it. He can't take it. And to me, that gives a sign of control freak. He cannot control members of the public. So guess who's going to take the fall? Patricia Mashale. Let me read this comment. Are telling the absolute truth. There was a time, once upon a time, there's a Facebook page. It's called South African Police Services. It's verified by Meta, so I assume it's the actual South African Police Services. It's got the South African Police Services logo. And speaking of Facebook, are you following me on Facebook? Please make sure you follow me on Facebook. My content there is a little bit different than over here, so make sure you also support me over there. So this page, the South African Police Services, they had a tendency of taking whatever Patricia Mashale posts, especially if it's groundbreaking, shocking, such a revelation or something that she has uncovered, and she puts it in the public domain. They had a system of taking a screenshot and then they will put over like a stamp, I don't know. It will say misleading in red, or they'll say false information. Stop doing that. Basically, they were discrediting Patricia Mashale in the very same platforms where she's posting this information. And they were doing it so often, and not just Patricia Mashale, in all fairness to South African Police Services. But, we're talking about Patricia Mashale, so we'll focus on that aspect. This comment came through, and this commenter says, it's so funny. It looks like South African Police Services has stopped their tedious tendency. They are no longer stamping Patricia Mashale's posts with fake news. So here's the comment. It says, we know that SAPS still wants to protect those who wrong the country. So, and they actually tagged South African Police Services in their comment, like the bravery. Out here, there's whistleblowers, and then there's brave citizens of South Africa. Tags South African Police Services and says South African Police Services used to fake news on your posts as they did not want the public members to know more about whatever it is that is happening in this service. Today, they no longer do it because you have been serving us nice and real news. Thank you for letting us know. So I thought that comment was quite hilarious and also factual at the same time. So let us go back. Paulina is in the room. Okay, Ngenile Pagati inside with what? A whole like. Come on now, Mike. Don't fail me in the public during the people. There we go. Mouse is working fine. Paulina is a channel member, so thank you for being a channel member. Paulina and Barbara, let me see. Do we have any more channel members in the house? Drop a 2. What's your name on Facebook, Thomas? It is literally Mzansi Unfiltered. Again, same thing everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the very same. One and only Mzansi Unfiltered still has my exact same logo. That is I. Thank you, Thomas, for coming over to the other side, the blue side. All right. So Barbara says he's a long-standing criminal. I don't know who she's referring to, but paragraph 36. Let me start it again because I disrupted myself. Can you believe the level of digression sometimes? I accept that people serving the public, such as the applicant, should accept that they may be fiercely criticized by others from time to time. I accept that people serving the public, such as the applicant, should accept that they may be fiercely criticized by others from time to time. They are not immune to criticism. However, criticism and fair comment must be considered objectively and based on the facts in each particular case. It is just too easy for people that are active on social media to insult others and or attack them in a vitriolic manner. Often, these social media users have thousands. That's not me, guys. I just have a humble 70,000 subscribers. So I don't think that the judgment is referring to us. So we're safe. And even millions of followers who can access the publications within seconds or minutes. I am also mindful of the ever increasing tendency by some social media users to use the various platforms to crucify others. Courts should be wary of these. In the preparation of this judgment, I take cognizance hereof. Thank you so much, Judge. I think you said it quite fairly and well said. Judge, what would your comment be about Gayton and how he reacted to the podcast boys? But Asikolapo. So basically, I want to say to Patricia Mashale, who was being vilified by SAPS anytime most times she posted on Facebook or Twitter, they would take her post and they would write false information, false information, false information. They would just do that. I took the time today to go to Patricia Mashale's Facebook page because I wanted to see the original post that upset Shadrach Sivia. I really wanted to see it. I really wanted to see it with my own eyes. But let me tell you something. I got lost because I had to scroll all the way from today o'clock down to October 2024. And let me tell you, in between today and October, I ran through some of the posts where things that Lieutenant General Umkhwanazi has put out into the open forum, my jaw. Like, Patricia Mashale's social media platform should be studied. I don't know, Stellenbosch, I don't know. But let me tell you something. There's a lot there. I think you need to take time and just read those posts. Like some of them, I don't see all her posts. So some of them I hadn't seen them before, and it was like, huh? What? Where? Who? And of course, SAPS will be right there fighting diligently to say false information, false information. They haven't done that recently. But and anytime, by the way, they would say false information, she would respond. It's not like she would disappear or run to delete. No. Like if there's one person who is Miss Fear Focal, it is Patricia Mashale. She would then respond and say, where did I lie? Where? Show me the lie. Highlight the lie. And besides, I have a case open, docket, da 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 da. She would always respond. Long story short, I didn't find the post. Blue app, that's on the Twitter app, but there's this one app called YouTube. It's the red app, okay? If we're on the blue app, we'll call it the red app. If we're here on the red app, we'll call it as it is, YouTube Streets. And let me tell you something. It's so ironic because Mac G of Podcast and Chill, shout out to the chillers in the building. Yesterday, I've become, I think I'm becoming a chiller because I can sit through more of those videos. I used to think his videos are too long, but now I can sit through it. So I want to play you a clip that McG said with regards to YouTube as a content creator, as a part. Let me make sure it's the right one.
Yes. That anyone in this world,
yes,
whether it's you, Ghost Lady, you...
I'll play devil's advocate, right? And I'm going to deviate a bit.
But wait.
Okay, go on.
I'm fighting for freedom of speech here.
Yeah, man, nigga.
I'm saying it's important. I'm saying whether you agree with what someone is saying, the fact that they can say it is very, very fundamental. It's important.
And we
can't lose that. We can't censor people just because they don't like what you don't like what they're saying.
Mandela, where are you? It would change it and make it Manelo. Yeah. Because you could be killed for uttering such words during apartheid. So that's why I feel which is very important in our country, in democratic country as well.
And I'm not saying
people get killed.
And I'm not saying let's be reckless with it.
Yes.
Like, don't come on and say I'm going to kill people. Yeah, it's important that we have to fight for it. Because you can see they're trying to silence freedom of speech. But if you attack...
Let me know in the comments.
That's the pattern that you see within African countries, and we're at a point where we have dipped now into becoming another African country, Zim, Congo, all these countries where you start, the country's got all these freedoms, and then the government is so corrupt, it gets to a point where then they zoom in on things like freedom of speech, and you can't call them out.
Yes.
You know, like in Zim. In Zim, they say you've got freedom of speech, but your freedom after a speech is not guaranteed.
Oh, no.
You know, so... Like you can say anything you want about the president, Mnangagwa or Robert Mugabe, freedom of speech, but there will be consequences afterwards.
Yeah.
And it started with a beautiful honeymoon phase where everything was well until the jig was up. We're like, government is fucking around.
Exactly.
And then they come on freedom of speech. And one day you'll find a country whereby we can't even criticize or say anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we need to be careful as well. We need to protect certain rights. Yeah.
Yes, Patricia?
Freedom of speech in the Constitution is protected under Section 16, which states that everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This also includes the right to receive and impart information, artistic creativity, and academic freedom. However, the limitations is that it is not to be used for harm on others, including propaganda for war, incitement of imminent violence, or hate speech.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
In this case, it seems like freedom of speech is reserved
by
for a
6 a.m.
select few.
6 p.m. tomorrow.
It's
We'll
freedom of
delete
speech
all
until you speak
the
about
posts
Shadrach Sivia.
referencing
And
Shadrach
the judge
Sivia.
found that
She will issue
Patricia Mashale didn't say anything, and
an
therefore
apology on all
there
her
is no
social media
defamation.
platforms.
Listen,
That's
there's
what they're
going to be a
gunning
part
for.
2 because this
And
is
what
a
that
very long video. Hit the like button. I'll catch you in part 2. Thank
fruition.
you.
Don't
Bye.
believe